Welcome to Tomorrow Unveiled, your essential guide to the future we are building right now. And, for the past 7 days, our dedicated research team has been tracking, well, really a convergence of events.
AI and robotics, yeah. And it's looking like, well,
Mm,
nothing less than a major inflection point. An unprecedented one, really.
exactly. We're seeing humanoid technology transition from, what often felt like a cool but maybe kind of brittle lab demo
Right, those demos were impressive but limited.
straight into something that feels like a commercial necessity almost overnight.
It's quite the shift.
What's fascinating, I think, is how the core question has changed. It's really not if humanoids are coming
Well,
anymore.
that ship has sailed. It's a definite yes.
It's about how fast they'll arrive.
Yeah.
And crucially, why this specific week seems to have signaled such a radical change.
That's the key question.
So that's the mission for Tomorrow Unveiled today. We're going to unpack this massive breakthrough integrating these huge AI models.
These vision language action models, the VLAs.
Right, putting them directly into physical machines. It feels like the central nervous system upgrade the whole industry was sort of waiting for.
It really does. And the markets are certainly reflecting that.
Yeah, the capital markets are confirming it. Our research team compiled the investment patterns and investor confidence in general purpose humanoids. It's at an all-time high.
Record-breaking capital injections just this week. It suggests the technical foundations for actually deploying these things.
Yeah.
They're seen as solid now.
Okay, the money's confirming it, yes. But, we've seen speculative bubbles in tech before, plenty of times.
That's fair. Very fair.
What's the one concrete technical thing this week that convinces you this isn't just another, speculative hype cycle? Is it that zero-shot transfer thing, or is it acquiring all that real-world data access?
Oh, it's the data access.
Okay.
Hands down. That's the fuel the AI needs. Without that, the rest is just potential.
Okay, let's unpack that then. This shift towards, well, data becoming the most valuable thing in robotics.
Exactly. The technical experts we follow agree. Data dominance was the critical bottleneck. And one company, Figure AI, just made a huge move to break through it.
Right, Figure AI. They secured over $1 billion. Series C funding.
Over $1 billion, yeah, which resulted in a post-money valuation of $39 billion.
Wow, $39 billion. That number alone says a lot about perceived commercial viability.
It does. But you're right to ask what they're doing with that money. The cash itself is almost secondary here.
Secondary to the asset they're buying.
Precisely. And that asset is real-world access. They've got this internal initiative, apparently dubbed Project Go Big.
Okay.
It involves a strategic partnership with Brookfield,
Mm-hmm.
the global asset management firm.
Uh-huh.
This gives Figure access to just this massive, incredibly diverse portfolio of real-world places, over 100,000 residential units, plus vast commercial spaces.
So actual apartments, houses, offices, warehouses.
Everything. It's not just data collection in a lab anymore. This is about generating IP.
How so? Generating IP.
Well, by effectively cornering the market on this huge, diverse set of human interaction data, Figure is building a proprietary moat. It's something that's, frankly, almost unassailable for others.
Meaning their AI models will just learn faster than anyone else's?
Exponentially faster than, say, open source or purely academic efforts. They'll have data nobody else can get at that scale.
The analysis we looked at framed this Brookfield partnership as, well, essentially building the YouTube for robot behaviors. Is that accurate?
That's a great analogy, actually. They're aiming to capture vast amounts of egocentric video, seeing the world from a human's point of view as people do everything.
Like opening drawers, folding laundry, walking through a cluttered room.
Exactly, all the mundane stuff. To create the world's largest pre-training data set, they're essentially showing the robot, frame by frame, how humans live and interact with the world.
Giving it eyes on our world.
And the technical payoff seems immediate. We saw it with their Helix Vision Language Action Model, the VLA. It demonstrated zero-shot human-to-robot transfer for navigation.
Okay, zero-shot transfer, that sounds almost magical. If the robot is only trained on watching humans, how does it know how to move itself?
It's that unification within the VLA model. That's the key. It means the robot isn't relying on separate, often brittle, software layers for seeing, understanding language, and then moving.
Ah, so it's not like step 1, see? Step 2, process language. Step 3, plan movement.
Exactly. It's more like one integrated brain handling all three simultaneously.
Yeah.
This makes the system much less likely to fail and much quicker to adapt.
And the zero-shot part?
That means the robot, just from watching us, could navigate a cluttered home environment based purely on a natural language command, Like someone says, walk to the kitchen table.
And it just does it
Yeah.
without ever having been explicitly trained as a robot to do that specific task in that specific room.
Correct. No robot-specific demos needed for that task. It learned the concepts walking, avoiding obstacles, identifying a kitchen table,
Yeah.
just by observing human video data.
That is a staggering leap, a kind of general intelligence, a one-brain approach we haven't really nailed before.
It's a fundamental shift.
Okay, this is fascinating stuff. And look, to keep bringing you this kind of analysis here on Tomorrow Unveiled, we really do rely on your support. If you're finding this insightful, maybe take a second to like this video if you're on YouTube, subscribe to Tomorrow Unveiled, and maybe even hit that new hype button. It helps us reach more people.
And turn on those notifications so you don't miss future updates.
Absolutely. And if you happen to be listening on a service like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, we'd be incredibly grateful if you could leave us a rating and review for Tomorrow Unveiled. It honestly makes a big difference.
It really does.
All right, so we have this massive amount of human data flowing in, but data is only useful if you have the smarts, the algorithms to actually use it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
How are researchers actually capitalizing on this flood of human activity data?
Yeah.
Well, the academic papers compiled by our research team this week, they strongly back up this data-first strategy, particularly through methods they're calling human-guided reinforcement learning.
Human-guided RL.
And one specific method that really jumped out is called dream control.
Dream control. That sounds aspirational.
Mm-hmm.
How does the core idea, this diffusion prior, actually help the robot learn? Is it like giving it hints?
That's a good way to put it, almost like cheat codes, or maybe more like embedded intuition about physics and how humans move gracefully.
Oh, okay.
So diffusion prior is basically a neural network that's already been trained on tons and tons of human motion data. It effectively tells the robot's main learning algorithm, look, learn how to do this complex task, like opening a drawer.
Uh-huh.
But whatever solution you find, make sure the movement looks smooth and natural, like how a human would do it, not, like a flailing machine.
So it guides the learning process towards efficiency and naturalness.
Precisely. It massively narrows down the possibilities the robot has to explore, which dramatically cuts down learning time and results in movements that look, well, less robotic and more human.
And that speed up translates into real physical skills faster.
Right. And tied into that, we also saw research highlighting breakthroughs in whole body stability. Robots using their entire upper body, arms, torso, everything to sort of embrace and carry bulky objects.
Ah, instead of just trying to grip with fingers.
Exactly. That's huge for practical applications. It significantly boosts their payload capacity and makes them much more robust, less likely to drop things in a real-world setting like a warehouse.
And it's not just the big names like Figure AI making progress, is it? The research pointed to a growing diversity in prototypes, too.
Absolutely. Which is a sign of a maturing market, I think. Beyond the major players focused on the AI side, there's incredible innovation happening in the hardware itself, especially around agility.
Like what?
Well, Kaizen Korea unveiled some next-gen humanoid legs, really agile, capable of sprinting up to 3.25 meters per second.
Wow, that's pretty quick for a humanoid.
And apparently they can even perform a moonwalk.
They can moonwalk? Okay, I'm trying not to picture a warehouse bot doing Michael Jackson moves. But seriously, that level of agility, what's the practical benefit? Is it just about stability?
It's stability, yes, but also speed and robustness, especially on uneven or dynamic terrain.
Yeah.
Think about navigating a factory floor that might have unexpected debris or eventually, cracked sidewalks.
Right, the real world isn't flat and clean.
Exactly. So that agility race is definitely on. And we're seeing different strategies emerge, too. A UK startup called Humanoid is reportedly focusing hard on human-robot interaction, HRI. Things like face tracking, trying to make the robots more social acceptable.
Interesting angle.
And in China, X Square Robot released an open-source AI foundation model, Wallace. That looks like a big play to build an ecosystem around their platform quickly, kind of an Android strategy for robots.
So different bets being placed, proprietary data moats, hardware agility, HRI, open ecosystems.
The market's definitely segmenting and exploring different paths.
Okay, this is all incredibly exciting technology. But here on Tomorrow Unveiled, we always need to bring it back down to earth a bit. Where are these amazing machines actually going to show up first? And what's still holding them back?
Right, the reality check. Well, our analysis, and this was corroborated by reports from the recent A3 Humanoid Robot Forum, confirms the immediate target. The commercial beachhead is definitely logistics, warehousing, and manufacturing.
Makes sense. Semi-structured places.
Exactly. environments where the general-purpose nature of a humanoid can directly address some of the severe labor shortages that manufacturers globally are reporting. They can, in theory, slot into jobs humans do without massive reconfiguration.
Which brings up that generalist versus specialist idea. Our research team highlighted the Robochemist platform as a good example.
That's a perfect contrast. Robochemist is this highly specialized system. It's not even humanoid, just arms, really, designed only for chemical experiments.
And it's incredibly good at that one thing.
Superhuman safety and success rates in the lab, apparently. So it clarifies the market split. Robochemist is the specialist, unbeatable for static, repetitive, highly technical tasks in a controlled setting.
Whereas humanoids are the jacks of all trades.
Right. Best suited for dynamic, less predictable environments that are already built for humans, like those warehouses, factories, and maybe eventually our homes. Their value proposition is avoiding the colossal cost of redesigning the world for the robots.
But that flexibility doesn't come cheap or without problems. What are the big hurdles our research team identified?
Cost is still a major one. These humanoids are running anywhere from, say, $50,000 up to maybe $400,000 each. That's a significant investment.
Yeah, not impulse buy territory.
Not at all. And then there are practical issues. Battery life is still quite limited, often just a few hours of operation before needing a recharge.
Which limits their usefulness in a full workday.
Big time. And, maybe most critically, the need for absolutely robust safety protocols, especially before these things start interacting widely with the general public. That's a huge ongoing challenge.
Safety first, always. Okay, and finally, we can't really talk about this without touching on the geopolitical side, can we? This acceleration seems to be heating up the tech competition.
Oh, definitely. It's rapidly becoming a major front in the technological competition, primarily between the US and China.
And they seem to be taking different approaches.
Very different strategies based on the information compiled. The U.S. approach, like we saw with Figure AI's funding, seems focused on these heavily funded private startups. They're prioritizing AI and data dominance through massive proprietary data sets, building that software and data moat.
The defensible advantage through AI.
Right. China's strategy, on the other hand, looks more state-supported. It seems focused on building a vertically integrated industrial ecosystem. The goal there appears to be achieving hardware scale and manufacturing speed, get lots of robots built quickly and efficiently.
So one side bets on the brain, the other bets on the body and the factory.
Kind of. It looks like a two-front battle. You need both world-class AI and unprecedented hardware scale to truly win in this space. The ultimate leader will likely be whoever masters both.
And this week's developments just poured fuel on that fire.
Dramatically accelerated the race, yes.
Okay, so let's try to wrap this up. What does all this mean for you, our listener? I think the key takeaway from our research over the past 7 days is pretty clear.
Yeah, the strategic resource, the most important factor in robotics right now, seems to have shifted definitively. It's moved from just hardware capability
To data and the sophisticated AI models that can actually learn from that data. That's what's paving the way for truly general-purpose humanoids.
That's the core insight.
Now, we've established the first wave of applications will likely be industrial logistics, manufacturing, but the analysis our team compiled also hinted at some more, let's say, provocative future uses.
Right, like that Michigan hiking research team. They suggested using these newly agile humanoids for things like search and rescue operations.
Or environmental monitoring, maybe, out in really rugged, tough terrain where it's dangerous for people.
Places you wouldn't normally send a wheeled robot or even a person easily.
Which leads to a great question for you listening. Thinking beyond the warehouses and factories, what other non-industrial, maybe high-risk or high-impact applications do you think could be revolutionized first by these smarter, more agile machines?
Yeah. Where else could they make a real difference early on?
We genuinely love hearing your thoughts on this. So whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on your favorite podcast app, please leave a comment and let us know what you think about this rise of humanoid robotics.
We're keen to hear your ideas.
Thanks so much for joining us for this exploration of the machines of tomorrow.
Always a pleasure.
Be sure to check back in for the next exploration of the future right here on Tomorrow Unveiled.